Beautiful ball fake and the pass.
And it's saved. 3 seconds left. Here's Van Exel. This is for the win. He got it.
Van Exel looks down on left to right hand. He comes smiling back. He's got a bag of tricks, doesn't he?
Welcome back to Nick Van Exel's Greatest Games, where we go back in time and relive Nick's finest games of his career. In today's episode, we travel back in time to December 13, 1994 to see the LA Lakers face the Dallas Mavericks. Played in Dallas's Reunion Arena, Nick would score 35 points and hit 8 threes while giving it to a trash-talking fan in the second half. In the second quarter, Nick hit Jason Kidd with an amazing crossover, only to unfortunately miss the layup. Sit back and enjoy as we take you back in time here on Van Exel TV.
Back at Reunion Arena in Dallas, Texas, along with Hubie Brown, I'm Ron Thulin, moments away from the opening tip-off between the Los Angeles Lakers and the exciting Dallas Mavericks. Now let's take a look at tonight's starting matchups. And Dick Motta says he has problems with the Lakers because they're such a big team, Hubie.
Well, you can see that Divac's at 7 foot and Elton Campbell at 7. They have two great shot blockers. Now the Lakers will match up the way we have it set up, but the Mavericks will change. Popeye Jones will come down and play Campbell, and Williams will move up and play Divac.
Both teams going through their introductions right now. The lights off here at Reunion Arena as the Mavericks trying to regain the glory days of the 80s when Aguirre, Blackman, and Harper were all part of the team that led them to the finals in '88. And Dick Motta in his second stint. And Dick Motta, of course, third on the all-time winning list in NBA history, just past Dr. Jack Ramsey just the other day. Here is Dick Motta. The seasons, the wins, and the games, and decided to come back. He said, I've always answered the call of Donald Carter, the owner of the Mavericks, and he goes, and this was no different. And he's excited about being here.
Yeah, he is. He feels good about it. He has Brad Davis and his son Kip as assistant coaches. He likes that, a lot of youthful energy, so that while practice is going on, they take over the floor for him. And he really likes his team. He says this is a great basketball team with a lot of enthusiasm for young people.
And the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers in his first year, former coach of the Houston Rockets and the Milwaukee Bucks, Del Harris, a graduate of Milligan College in Tennessee. So his graduating class had about 55 guys. Del was near the top, of course. Interesting story about Dick Motta, though, about why he took the job. He said, you know, when I decided I wanted to take it, I first had to go talk to Mrs. Carter and spend some time with her to make sure that she understood why I was coming back. Because as everybody knows, when Dick left in 1987, it was not under the best of circumstances. In fact, his departure of Dallas was quite a surprise. Everybody thought the press conference that he had called was to talk about the future of the team. And the next thing you know, Dick said, I'm leaving. And he wanted to make sure that everybody was on the same page when he took over this job. And he says he has, right now, as far as he understands, he can stay as long as he wants. Here's the series history. As we mentioned at the top of the show, the Lakers have owned the Mavericks the last 7 games in 14 out of 15, almost 2 years to the day since the Dallas Mavericks last beat the LA Lakers.
Well, they played in LA early November. LA won by 12. The trapping really confused this young Dallas team. And as you look at Dallas, remember, there's a rookie starting kid, 2 one-year players, and 2 two-year players. This is by far the youngest starting unit in the
league. Coached in Chicago in '68, isn't it?
No, but you don't have to change if you have players who can shoot and are big-time, talents.
Something you don't see, Jason Kidd turning the ball over, and it ends up in an easy 2 by Cedric Ceballos. So we will get an update on Jason Kidd as soon as we have the information passed on to us. Van Exel in a crowd draws the whistle.
Well, that was a nice screen and roll, Ron. When he got down into the lane, the defense rotated, and they really hang him up here. Now, just keep an eye on this right now. See, if Popeye would have just stayed and held his area, he would have picked up the charge.
Nick Van Exel, 2 shots.
Nick Van Exel at the line. Second-year pro out of Cincinnati. Van Exel 70% on the year from the stripe.
Well, you know, Ron, last year he had a good year. He played 81 games, and he really came in with some interesting stats. When you think almost 14 points, right at 6 assists, shot 78 on the line, but the disappointing thing last year, he only shot 39%. Here's that trap again. Look at this.
Major problems. The rookie, Eddie Jones, flying down the right side of the lane.
And it's all happening out in as they cross half court or on the wing.
Bill Harris has even written 3 books about defense in the NBA. That is a 3 on away by Ceballos. Divac the offensive rebound. Eddie Jones off the back of the iron. Vlade again. Van Exel for 3. Buries it.
He's an outstanding three-point shooter. This year he's already shooting 42%. He's now 43 for 102 from the three-point line.
Set a Laker record last year in three-pointers made. He had second most by a rookie in NBA history.
Foul by Yeldon
Offense. Campbell Williams takes it away from Popeye Jones.
Without Jason Kidd, they have no one to blow the ball up the floor.
Mashburn's 3 is short. Van Exel, nice look inside to Cedric Ceballos.
Yeah, I like what they have out there. When you say Eddie Jones and Ceballos, you have 2 guys who can really change ends. And then you have something to anchor your defense when you have Campbell and Divac. You have 2 shot blockers.
Jones out of Murray State. Played in Italy one year where he averaged over 21 points, and Van Exel answers that.
Right now, without Jason Kidd, right now the referees are talking it over, but you're going to see this as it comes off. It was knocked right there and then hit again by Jimmy Jackson. So that was off of Dallas.
Orland Wiley is checked into the ball game for the Mavericks. Number 20, the 7th-year pro out of Long Beach State, has not played in the last 3 games for Dallas. He lets Van Exel shoot, and Nick Van Exel drains his second 3. But what a quarter for the LA Lakers. They set a new NBA record with 11 steals in the quarter, and it was led by Van Exel as they tie the NBA record with 11. Van Exel leads them to a 33-24 lead after 1.
570 KLIF, tonight's contestant Tom Schuler from Garland. He'll attempt.
Jones with 8.
That's what you need against the trap. Whenever they fake the trap and you rotate the ball, the guy with the ball has got to make it happen.
Oh, Jason Kidd, that's called a crossover dribble by Van Exel, but here comes the Mavericks.
There you go. This is your game.
Jackson between the legs, finger roll won't go. Mashburn
Now, maybe we should start the game.
keeps it alive. Here comes Kidd again.
This is a 5-on-3.
Oh, and he finishes. But down court, Ceballos makes them pay. Mavericks have their first lead of the game at 39-38, and it's all because of Jason Kidd since he's come in here in the second. Van Exel to the hole. Nice looking move. Kidd tries to break down the defense. Carpley lets it fly.
Back now. 3. Nice.
With the reverse.
It's amazing what happens when you pass the ball up ahead. Carpley did an excellent job while he was in there, though, in all facets of the game.
15 turnovers already for the Mavericks. Nice read on the cut. Beautiful cut by Van Exel, I should say. And a nice look by Campbell.
Tonight, every time the Lakers pass the ball into the bunk, the player at the top of the circle, now watch this, look at left of your screen, watch the left of your screen. The player at the top of the circle is going right down the lane. That's their 3rd layup.
How far was the shot? Yes.
Defensive end of the floor. The defense, the trapping, the forcing the turnovers, taking care of the board, a little intimidation, and getting out in the open floor. Van Exel in this game has 6 assists and 3 steals along with his points. But this game has been played.
Hodge has 2, and we are tied at 55 inside of a minute.
Kidd does a good job fighting over the screen.
Van
Oh,
Exel
my.
take it and bake it and drops his third three of the half.
He was right on him, man. You could
Oh,
not
yeah.
defend him any better
No.
than that. As Mashburn gave that hesitation move, Bowie broke the line. Now keep an eye on this. Look at this. Jason Kidd is right on him now. Now that was a deep three. That was from the toughest angle that you can attempt a three.
Van Exel from 40 feet doesn't get it. Hodge with the rebound, but what a half for Nick Van Exel. 18 first half points. And that has allowed the LA Lakers to take a 2-point advantage at halftime. 58-56 is our score. Stay with us. Ernie Johnson and the Reebok Halftime Report is coming your way. And he points when he creates his own. Here comes a 2-on-1. Mashburn
See that?
into the hole.
Give it up. Give it up to the guy up front. You get it back. You get a lay.
And Van Exel hits the two quickly on the other end. Nick doesn't waste any time. Taken away by Jason Kidd. Jones and Jackson fight over it. They didn't see each other.
Jones was everywhere.
The Ceballos with the reverse, and Cedric Ceballos with his fourth point of the half.
That was unfortunate because that was
yeah.
an excellent pass by James.
26 for Mashburn in the game. The Mavericks up by a deuce. That is a three by Nick Van Exel, who gives somebody a stare on the side to our right.
Well, you know, in the first half, he was 3 for 7. He came out and missed a couple, but you have got to be careful with him because he wants that shot. Because he knew that Mashburn was behind him and he was still coming to the hole. What a great pass.
Dick Motta's going to play with the big kids because Lonnie Divac gets to. Jason Kidd hasn't sat down since he came back into the game in the second quarter. As we're watching this game, we realize Roy Tarpley is not on the Dallas Mavericks bench. He exchanged some words with Dick Motta in the second quarter after he was pulled from the game. And he didn't like being taken out. And now he is not even in the game as Nick Van Exel hits the three. And that's 5 3-pointers for Nick Van Exel in the ballgame. And we'll try to find out the story on Roy Tarpley.
Well, Tarpley only played 7 minutes. He had 4 points and 4 rebounds. He's got to have vision and understand when to take it and go strong to the basket or when to take it, turn, and get it to the corners.
Now Hodge trying to deny Vlade Divac's position. Van Exel from last three-point arc.
My, oh my.
Van Exel with his 6th three-pointer of the ballgame.
He came into this game shooting 42% in threes. What a night.
Well, and people are playing defense on him. I mean, it's not like they're just, letting him sit out there and park. Nice bounce pass to Mashburn. He regains control and completes it.
I've never seen so many off-balance shots go in as we've seen tonight.
30 points now for Mashburn, the NBA's player of the week. But Van Exel is matching him. Two to shoot. Van Exel pulls it for three again, and he's off the front of the iron. Hodge had it and lost it. Kidd closes the gap. Campbell on Jones. Van Exel again, his 7th three of the ball game.
I admit he's knocking him down, but give Campbell some credit, because Campbell definitely could have forced the shot right there and shot over the top of the man.
Inside, the Mavericks work with Mashburn. Van Exel with 32 points. Mashburn with 32 points. The Lakers by 3.
But they need a deep.
There is Jason Kidd as the Lakers 10 of 22. Dallas 4 for 10 from the arc, and it is a 4-point Laker lead. 2.5 left to be played in the ballgame. Jackson inside, the lead is 2.
Well, Dallas needs a couple of defensive stops. The Lakers can get the two-man game at will. They're going to run a curl for Ceballos. Doesn't mean anything. They're going to play two-man basketball here.
7 to shoot. Van Exel, 7 3-pointers. 3 off the NBA record. 2 off the NBA record.
2 minutes. 2 minutes and a period.
Brian Shaw.
He's giving it
You
to
go
Kid.
ahead and do it, big guy. You're allowed. Brian Shaw and Joe Dumars have hit 10 in the ball game. Van Exel 2 away.
The Lakers are 11 for 23 in threes in this game.
Vlade Divac foul number 6 on Vlade Divac.
First in the last 2 minutes, Divac has disqualified.
Now keep an eye on this. That shot clock is at 4. He's behind the old three-point line in the NBA. And watch it. And now he gives it to Kid as he gives a little bit of that hey in your face.
113, 108, 146 left to be played in the ball game. Vlade Divac is just fouled out. Now the pressure goes back to Big Nick. 35 points tonight for Van Exel. That ties his career high. But look at that, 8 of 15. 9 assists, only 1 turnover. That's what you call a complete effort by that young man.
He's really stepped up, and when you think that the Lakers got him on the second round 2 years ago in the draft, what a find, and he has rewarded them. Last year stepping in as a rookie and having such a sensational year, averaging right at 14 points, and this year better. And then any dribbler, they trap the dribbler. They're forcing Dallas out of their plan that they set up in the huddle. Here's your trap.
Into the hole inside. Mashburn, the double pump doesn't get it. Controlled by Sabalos, the rebound.
Look up. There he is.
George Lynch, the easy 2 for the Lakers.
Now, this isn't over. Now you have 25 seconds.
Mashburn for 3 doesn't get it. The rebound, Van Exel. As the Lakers are looking for their 8th road victory, they had only 12 all of last year.
You know that it's just that 15 seconds and Dallas is just allowing this game to run out. That is a shock. No trapping, no making Van Exel pass the basketball. They just run off 15 seconds on the clock, only up 7 points. That's a stunner.
That's unbelievable because the game is far from over. We saw it happen in a number of different situations where players and teams can get a couple of points quickly, 7 points quickly in a ball game. But nevertheless, the LA Lakers, with their 8th road win of the year, their 12th of the season, the final once again, 115 to 108. And our Budweiser player of the game is Nick Van Exel. Tonight he pours in 35 points, 10 assists, only 1 turnover, 8 of 16 from the three-point arc. Nick Van Exel, our Budweiser player of the game, the second-year pro out of Cincinnati, who was even questionable coming into tonight's game due to a sprained left ankle he suffered in Saturday's game against Utah. Here's one of the three-pointers by Nick Van Exel on Hubie. I tell you what, people were on him. That time he's open. Nick Van Exel is joining us now. Nick, you scored that one. Look at that. Nice little reaction. You decided to do a little dance like we said on the air. You're allowed to do it after 8 three-pointers in a ball game. Is this one of those nights that players talk about you're in the zone?
Well, I felt it pretty good tonight. Everybody was looking for me. The big men were getting double-teamed. They were kicking it out, and I was hitting.
You know, one thing we heard today, now that your ankle was really bad, you were kind of questionable for tonight. But you didn't look like you had any problems here.
Well, I took Sunday off. I practiced a little bit Monday, and I got a lot of rest today. I've been getting treatment, all weekend and Monday, and I felt pretty good tonight.
The big difference between this year and last year in regards to the spirit and the defensive pressure, from a player standpoint?
I think everybody's more involved. Everybody wants to win. Everybody's concentrating in practice, and we're doing the right things right now. Everybody's playing together and playing as a team.
Is this a team, Nick, that is looking for their own identity? Because at the end of last year, a lot of people said a lot of negative things about this ball club, and you came in this year a different attitude. Are you looking for your own identity as a team?
Well, I think so, because in the 80s there was so much magic and showtime, and now it's just the 90s Lakers. That's what we call ourselves, and we've been coming out and beating a lot of good teams, on the road and at home, and everybody's just playing well together as a team, and we're just focusing on getting to the playoffs.
All right, you had a super night tonight. We enjoyed it. That was good. I like watching that.
Thanks a lot.
115-108 is our final as the LA Lakers defeat the Dallas Mavericks. Now let's go back to our studios in Atlanta with Ernie Johnson. EJ?
And you're not the only one who enjoyed it. Good stuff from Reunion Arena tonight as the Lakers beat the Dallas Mavericks. Now,